me tell you what we're not going to do this year. We are not going to descend into Feedgate 2023 this year, because this year we are all going to understand what are the natural laying cycles of our hens. Those facts about hens laying like 200, 250 eggs a year, I don't even really know where they come from. The reality is that over a hen's lifetime, most hens are going to lay between 500 and 600 eggs in their lifetime. From the time that they start laying through their first year of laying, they're probably going to lay through molting season and through winter during that first year, because they haven't quite caught up to like the natural cycles just yet. However, in that following year, you're going to notice that around 18 months, they're likely going to go through their first molt, and they will slow down in laying then. We can also expect our hens to slow down on laying throughout winter. In general, hens are pretty finicky about laying when they're uncomfortable. So when it's like super, super cold and super, super hot, hens are pretty finicky about laying, but also they need at least 14 to 16 hours a day of sunlight in order for the hormones in their bodies to be triggered for them to even lay eggs. And so in the winter time, while the daylight hours are fewer, they will stop laying until springtime when the days get longer again. This is totally normal. It doesn't really matter what you supplement their feed with in order to try and get them to lay more during this time. Sometimes if they're molting, adding extra protein to their feed might help, but in the winter time, really it's just the daylight hours. During this time, some people will use artificial light in the coop. I prefer not to do this because I like my hens to just live out their natural laying cycles. And here's the thing, adding that supplemental light in the coop is not going to increase the amount of eggs that they lay over the span of their lifetime. It's only going to increase their production within the span of a couple years and ultimately shorten the amount of time that they're going to lay eggs throughout their lifetime. With supplemental feeding, even though what you feed them is likely not going to cause them to produce more eggs, feeding a higher protein while they're molting will help offer them the nutrients that they need as they're reproducing those new feathers. And throughout the change of the seasons from fall to winter, from winter to spring, with the change in temperatures, it is a fine idea to supplement with herbs and things that will help build their immune systems in those times, as they can be a little stressful on our birds.